And I guess this situation would be comic if it wasn't causing such chaos in a high school in Oakville, and if it didn't involve somebody who, I choose my words carefully, but I think is somewhat disturbed. There are aspects to this where perhaps we're just all being played. I've compared it to Corporal Klinger on the show MASH, who used to wear a dress because he wanted to be declared mentally unstable and cashiered out of the Army. In this case, perhaps this individual who identifies themselves as Kayla Lemieux is looking to be cashed out. Or there also are aspects, when I read Joe Warmington's column in the Toronto Sun today, that there is a degree of instability that may be possible. Kayla Lemieux, previously known as Carrie Lemieux, was photographed by the New York Post. A photographer hired by the New York Post was allegedly photographed having gone into their home with those enormous prosthetic breasts and a wig and makeup, and then stepping out, presenting as a man. And here's where it gets into some disturbing territory. And I'm trying to be respectful. We're all about promoting positive talk about mental health at Bell Let's Talk. But you also have to address issues as they present themselves. And in this case, when the Post called Kayla and said, we had somebody following you around who saw you go in dressed as a woman and come out dressed as a man without the breast, they declined to identify who they said was another person, which almost gets into a Jekyll and Hyde situation. I can't tell you who that is because I don't want to bring anyone else into this, Lemieux told the Post. I don't want that person being thrown all over the media, but it wasn't me. This is who I am. This is how I look. You've been talking to people in my building, but what they're telling you is harsh and untrue. I am always going out looking the way I am. All of this as a pretext to this conversation, which is that parents have had enough. As a matter of fact, they've had enough for a good long time at Oakville Trafalgar School. And that includes the parent of one student named Celina Close. Celina Close joins us right now. Good morning.
Good morning.
We talked yesterday on the show about a column in the Star that describes some of the chaos in this school. I'm wondering if, as a parent, you can give us a bit of a picture. I mean, we're talking about bomb threats. We're talking about students saying they feel humiliated by this situation. What's been going on?
Yeah, I mean, all of what you're mentioning has taken place. There's been probably in excess of 20 bomb threats at the school. To be honest, at this point, the kids are very comfortable, I use in a scary way, that these bomb threats take place on a sometimes weekly basis. I mean, they're just coming from the heels of COVID, and there's been a complete disruption of the school. And of course, the students are now speaking out, to which they weren't available or able to at the beginning, in terms of how uncomfortable they're feeling. They're scared. The parents are scared. There's just been a lot of disruption.
Now, I understand there are at least 2 GoFundMe campaigns to raise money for a legal challenge. What form would that legal challenge take?
There's lots of different options at this point. And just to clarify, we had a first GoFundMe, which we completed, and this is a second GoFundMe. So as we're obviously taking the situation day by day, there's lots of different legal options that come our way. So we're just continuing to encourage the community to help support our funds, our legal actions, and all of our work. So it's just the second iteration of the GoFundMe. It's the same.
So who are you going to sue and to what measure? I mean, are you going to sue the board for this person to be dismissed, or what action do you want to take?
Again, there's lots of different legal options. At this point, we're just weighing what those options are.
How, the risk of getting us into some dicey territory, I mean, how do you feel about the individual at the center of this? I was saying in the introduction to our conversation that I worry that they're somewhat disturbed and that, or that this is just a pure stunt.
Yeah, again, I agree with you. I think some of the recent information that's come out does lead people to believe that there's some mental concerns to worry about, which of course I have a lot of empathy for that. And I would like to kind of redirect the narrative around the situation. This teacher has brought out a lot of issues that need to be rectified and changed within the education system. So for me personally, it's less about this teacher as it is to now making sure that moving forward, we have the right the right board in place and that we have the right procedures and policies so that our children can be safe and their education is at the forefront of this board.
How do you want to see this end? I mean, what's the ideal outcome?
For me personally, the ideal outcome is an active board of trustees who are elected on behalf of the community, that they're active and they're watching the policies and procedures, and they're really taking into account the education and safety of the children. That needs to be very, very much there.
Okay, but is the objective to see this individual out of the school permanently?
The teacher is on home assignment. So at this point, the teacher is not at the school. So that's already in place. But again, we don't have information. We don't know if that's a short term, a long term, but definitely, yes. I mean, without some sort of understanding of what the mental investigation or whatever's taken place, we would not want to see the teacher back in the school. That's correct.
Thank you for this.
Thank you.